Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Well, I'm Margaret Howell reporting for Infowars.com. We've seen the Black Lives Matter movement in the news lately, more so than ever the past week, in relation to the deaths of Philander Castile and Alton Sterling at the hands of police officers. Now, before we get into the specifics of police shootings and these deaths, I want to play you the president's response to these killings. Take a look.
When incidents like this occur, there's a big chunk of our fellow citizenry that feels as if, because of the color of their skin, they are not being treated the same. And that hurts. And that should trouble all of us.
Now, unlike the liberal opportunistic freaks on the left and the neo-Nazis on the right, we actually care about all lives. We care about black people getting shot and killed unjustly in this country, of course. And I hate to see cases like this, but we heard our president use a very troubling narrative. He's race baiting. He's inciting more violence by using the narrative that he is and making this a race issue, making this a one-sided problem and fueling the anger. Now, I want to take you to my second clip. It's of the Dallas shooting. This happening last night where 5 police officers were killed. Take a look at this footage.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Marissa! Oh, no! Marissa, go!
Holy
We saw that horrific footage where a sniper actually gunned down 5 police officers that were attending to a protest scene. And the troubling issue here is that we're seeing a push now for the federalization of all local police officers in this country. And I want to take you to my third clip. It's a clip of a local sheriff. He told Megyn Kelly that he thinks that federalization of the Chicago police is in order because they're causing a murder crisis. Take a listen to what he has to say.
I'm trying to figure out why a state of emergency hasn't been declared in parts of the city of Chicago, why there's no curfew in place from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. The first thing they need to do is stem the violence at nighttime. Somehow they have to stop the bleeding, but Rahm Emanuel seems incapable of doing this. I just need to know how many more black people have to be shot and killed, like Director Comey said, before somebody thinks that this is an emergency.
Now, Sheriff Clark isn't alone in calling for martial law in cities, which aligns with the narrative that we should federalize, nationalize our police force. Al Sharpton has the same sentiment. I brought his clip for you. Take a look at what he says.
There must be national policy and national law on policing. We can't go from state to state. We've got to have national law to protect people against these continued questions.
We hear Al Sharpton akinning the national policing legislation to the Civil Rights Act, and he says there must be a national policy, a national law on policing. We can't go from state to state. We can't trust states with their own laws and regulations. We need to federalize this. We need to step this up and take control of it. Now, that's in line with what the president is trying to do. He's picked 6 cities to have nationalized police forces. This is his pilot program. $5 million of U.S. taxpayer money has been used to do this. It was launched by Eric Holder so that the DOJ could bring police departments under federal control. Now, the call to nationalize our police force and institute martial law in cities to protect citizens from their own police officers, that falls in line with hacked messages of the Black Lives Matter leader, who these messages actually reveal that the administration has a plan for a summer of chaos and even martial law. I want to read you some of these hacked messages. And on Friday, June the 10th, someone hacked into the Twitter account of hashtag Black Lives Matter, the leader and former Baltimore mayoral candidate DeRay McKesson. And this is what was leaked, according to this one document, this interaction where the Attorney General, it's alleged that the Attorney General is planning a summer of chaos to cause disruption at the conventions and ultimately institute martial law. Now, this exchange of messages between DeRay McKesson and a lady named Johnetta Elzie, this is what the conversation included. J.E., have you spoken with Ms. Lynch, Attorney General, recently about the plan for summer and fall leading up to the elections? To which he replies, we spoke 2 weeks ago. They want us to start really pushing how racist Trump is now instead of waiting so that others can start getting the protests ready to shut both conventions down. Then the conversation continues. If we can get both conventions shut down for messing over Bernie and for having racist Trump, then get martial law declared so Obama can stay in office, we will win. Call you soon when I get to my dad's so I can have his landline and we can talk about this more. So the summer of chaos that they're speaking of, they go on to detail how they're busing people in to create riots. 2,000 people bussed in from different cities and another 6,000 to 8,000 expected to drive into Cleveland for the convention. They're hoping to cause such mass chaos that martial law has to be declared, possibly even not an election. Who knows? But at least Obama gets to stay in office, according to these leaked tweets between the two of them regarding our own U.S. Attorney General, Loretta Lynch. Now, this goes hand in hand with the nationalized police force pilot program that's being instituted currently. And if martial law is declared, we might not even see an election. Well, a federal system of policing would be a good idea in theory if we could just ignore all of the problems and elements associated with federal law enforcement lately. That aside for a moment, what we know from these tweets, from this leaked information, is that mass chaos is planned all through the summer, centered around the election, right up until the election. And if they can manage to stop or halt it and declare this martial law, as DHS has implemented the plan of nationalized police forces, they just might get away with it. Meanwhile, our president is making this a race issue, pointing out how police brutalize disproportionately black people. And this could be a front for pushing a nationalized police force and ultimately declaring martial law. I'm Margaret Hell, reporting for Infowars.com.
People desperate for staples like milk, rice and flour stormed a supermarket warehouse in Guyana City.
If you go back to 2007, the British Ministry of Defense came out and echoed a Department of Defense report saying that they believe there would be massive multi-100% food price increases worldwide. And that during that global meltdown, that there would be incredible social unrest that would depopulate much of the earth. Now, Vice magazine and other publications are reporting on a 2015 report produced by the U.S. government, the UN. Cut. Let's stop it right there. I shot that video, that special, about a week and a half ago, before Hillary Clinton was basically given free rein in the United States of America to break any law she wants. Before more news came out of food riots intensifying in Asia, Latin America, Africa, the Middle East, you name it. Before we got more news of NATO plans to encircle Russia with more troops. Bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, the world financial economy is melting down by design. Everything the globalists are doing is about making us dependent on them. That's why, declaring personal independence, I am announcing that we're extending the record sales of 20 to 40% off on water filters and X2 Survival Shield, and of course, the survival food. I'm extending the 20 to 40% off for one more week, and then that's it. But I'm expanding it when it comes to non-GMO heirloom seeds, all sorts of systems to jump your car or to give yourself power during emergencies, and on solar panel systems and on shortwave radios that are solar powered and crank powered. So we're going from a few dozen items that are discounted to more than 100 right now at InfoWarsStore.com. And we're running it right through to the beginning of next week. It is the biggest sale ever on preparedness and survival systems because the globalists want us totally dependent on them. We need to be independent ourselves, or at least start that journey. But there's another aspect of this that makes it an absolute no-brainer. When you get the high-quality non-GMO seeds, open pollinated heirloom, when you get high quality water filtration systems massively discounted, or nutraceuticals, when you get high quality storable foods, you're not just making yourself more independent, You're also funding Infowars, that is just breaking international news every day and really giving the globalists a major run for their money. So you don't just get great prices. You don't just support the InfoWar. You support yourself and your family at the same time. It's an absolute no-brainer. I want to thank all of you that have come to InfoWarsStore.com and who have supported what we're doing. And I want to encourage those of you that haven't, check it out today. It's a total 360 win at InfoWarsStore.com.